What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the North Shore 9 Postgame Show, sponsored by Primanti Brothers. I'm Neil. With me is Doug. Doug, how are you doing, Doug?
Well, you knew after, it was a Herman start, so you were going to get the B team tonight. The big three were wise in setting this out and leaving this to the bench warmers. Man, this was, in a season filled with indignities, in a rebuild filled with ineptitude, in an ownership filled with just incompetence. Like, is this the worst? This is just awful. Just a lifeless team limping to the finish. For the love of God, Bob Nutting, fire these people, sell this team. Dear Lord, this is more than we should have to take.
Yeah.
This team. I mean, we figured a way to screw up. We won the series, and who cares, right? Who cares? Just end the season, pull the plug, call it. It's done. I can't take anymore.
Well,
they're all at fault. I don't even want to assign blame.
Full disclosure, Doug got on wearing Steelers gear. I did not plan this, but I figured it'd be fitting if I also put on some Steelers gear just to kind of put where we are together feeling about the Pirates right now, right? Just our overall.
Neil is like an Oscar host. He's changing costumes, in between sets, right? Yeah. But yeah, it's time. We're not even enthused about the Steelers season, but dear Lord, it's oh my God, let's move
on. It's crazy because usually I'm one of those weird sickos that I'm like, no, I'm still watching the Pirates over the Steelers. I'm more of a Pirates fan than the Steelers fan. And this year, no. Sorry. I'm going to be locked in Sunday.
Every year of my life on Sunday, I'm watching the Pirates. I've watched the Pirates, and I'll flip over to the Steelers or something in between innings. Mm-hmm. This year, locked in. Let's go watch it. I might go up to the Falcons game, for crying out
loud. We'll start blasting next post game round. We're just going to be blasting.
Oh shoot! I've got the post game show on Sunday. Man.
You can just blast the "Here We Go" song. But speaking of football, let's talk about our friends from BetOnline. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. From the preseason NFL to college kicking off, BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. Think you know your stuff? Get on our winner-take-all $300,000 NFL Survivor pool for the upcoming season. When the game is over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head over to the website today and use promo code BELIEVE to get in on the action. Bet online, the game starts here. And maybe you, too, can bet against Florida State to lose in horrible, horrible fashion. But anyway.
This year, Florida State fans are going to complain that we need a 40-team playoff because they're not going to make the 12th game.
Can we do that instead? Can we debate whether or not Florida State should have been in the playoff last year? that sounds more brutal. But speaking of losing horribly, the Pirates lose 12-0 today, Doug. They get combined no hit from Imanaga, Nate Pearson, and some dude I've never heard of called Porter Hodge. Porter Hodge.
Never heard of him. He can come in here right now with a baseball in his hand. I wouldn't know who he was.
So what's more embarrassing? What do we want to start with? Do we want to start with being no hit, or do we want to start with Domingo German?
Yeah, it's a tough call. Like, what's more embarrassing, starting Domingo German, or have? Yeah, I mean, that's it. The organization is a joke. It's a joke. I mean, it's not even a good punchline, and that's really the problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
You look at there are small market teams that are successful, right? They win in the margin. You look at Tampa Bay, you look at Cleveland, you look at there are Kansas City low payroll teams that can seem to get things done, but what's his name? Charrington is. I'm just going to wait and see, and the team will tell me how good they're going to be. How about being proactive, right? How about not signing Domingo German?
Yeah.
How about signing a legitimate outfielder, trading for, acquiring, developing, drafting? I don't care. You've had 5 years. You've had 5 years, and you've got nothing, right? We're no better. We've got this brilliant pitching. Brilliant starting rotation. How many 1-0 games can they win? Right? How many 2-1 games can they win? They need some help, and this team doesn't help them. The general manager doesn't help them. The manager does. Nobody. The owner. Nobody. They're just left out there to just flail around and just. They should at least fire a pitching coach tomorrow. How about something? How about some sort of statement that this is unacceptable? But nothing. And I don't expect teams to overreact, but it's time for at least a reaction from this team. But no, we're going to keep plugging on. We're going to talk about the process.
Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. Domingo German last year pitched 20 games, 4.56 ERA. He wasn't very good. Maybe a serviceable fifth starter. You have signed a guy who got suspended for domestic abuse. Clearly, it's not an issue with the organization. We have been very mad at this.
We've got 3 of
them. Clearly, there's no standards here. Yeah. And you're also signing a guy and giving starts to a guy who showed up to work drunk because he's an alcoholic, got suspended by the team for the rest of the year because he's an alcoholic, and after you sign him, an article comes out saying, I still drink. I don't have a problem. He should never have seen the major league roster. He should never have been given a chance with this team. His ERA in AAA was terrible. He was awful. He had a 6 ERA in AAA, and he is coming up and making starts. And I'm pretty sure it was Falter's turn in the rotation. I'm pretty sure they have 5 starters up here. So they intentionally took Bailey Falter out of the rotation to give Domingo German starts. And again, he's not going to be on the team next year. This is a 1-year deal, minor league deal.
Don't be so sure. Don't be so sure.
They still
he shouldn't be on the team next year.
I mean, he should never be on the team in the first place. But why are we wasting our time here? He not 3 innings, 7 runs, 9 hits, 2 home runs to the Cubs. It's embarrassing. He should. This is not what major league teams do.
No, right. You don't. I mean, again, most teams would not. Jim pointed it out. I think. I'm all for second chances, right? I'm all for people turning their lives around and doing better and making mistakes and growing and that sort of thing. But you've got to at least say the right things. Domingo German clearly did not. You sort of have to earn your way, I think, right? We're just not going to give you, innings because he could have been a choir boy. He could have performed the Heimlich maneuver on someone choking on a hot dog in the game and saved their life, and he still doesn't deserve to start games at the major league level.
Correct.
It's just absurd, right? It's September, so you can bring people. I mean, I know you can only bring 2 people up, but you can bring a guy up and not affect service time right now. So why Domingo German? why? It's hard to believe that they're not trying to improve their chances in the lottery. Because that seems to be the only thing that gets our organization excited is the draft lottery.
I wish I could agree. I really just think they're trying to justify the signing. like I genuinely believe that they are just trying to justify in their minds that burning $1 million on Herman was
that's a Ben Cherington move, right?
It's not like
Right.
he should be.
We don't give up.
He should be DFA tomorrow. For that, I'm completely blanking on his name. The guy we just claimed from the Tigers.
He should be Joey Wentz, right?
Joey Wentz. Yeah, Joey Wentz. Sorry, like I don't even think Joey Wentz is that good, but I bet he's better than Herman.
No.
And
the one thing I give them a little room with is they've signed some of these guys that have done well, right? They've signed some, Dennis Santana and Ryan Baracchi are great examples. I mean, Jalen Beeks is doing fine. So you gave Herman a chance. You saw something. I mean, it hasn't worked. It didn't work in AAA. It's not working here. So, right, you got Joey Wentz. Get this dude out of town. Hopefully you were just using him to burn up some innings tonight, and that's the end of it. But no, every time we think something sane and reasonable like that, he'll be bumping schemes from his next start. So
yeah, and I mean, listen,
it's really hard to cheer for this team right now.
It is telling because I don't know what it is that we insist on employing bad domestic abusers, but having to watch G1 Bay and Domingo German this year makes me mad. It genuinely pisses me off that they're on this team. And, no one needed to sign him. You could have just gotten another – you could have gone and gotten another minor league deal. You could have just kept Jake Woodford around. But Herman is worse than Woodford.
No.
And he is – and let's put it this way.
If you're going to sign one of these guys, they need to perform. Right?
Let me put it this way. Last year, the entire free agent signing class was, sure, these may not be the best guys, but these are good clubhouse guys. This year, we get Domingo German. We get really, really bad locker room influences who shouldn't be here, who suck. And this is supposed to be the improvement. It's embarrassing. And
this is the year we're going for the playoffs. Right.
Yeah. Right. Also, the bullpen, I don't really care that Beeks and Nicholas gave up runs. We'll talk about it briefly, but they each gave up 2 runs each. But whatever. Really, the game's over. 7 runs.
Who cares, right?
Nicholas has struggled recently.
It was over.
Nicholas has struggled recently, but he's just there to get through the game. One thing that I want to touch on is something that Donardo tweeted out, and that is that since August 23rd, Aroldis Chapman has pitched 4 times since August 23rd. This is Rowdy Tellez's 3rd time pitching since August 23rd. In case anyone wants to know how this team is doing, is that Rowdy Tellez is seeing the mound as often as Aroldis Chapman is. And I'm tired of seeing him pitch. Everyone's like, it's funny. It's funny that Rowdy Tellez is pitching. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Embarrassing. I don't want to see him.
Not.
Every time I see him, it's embarrassing.
Right. No, this organization has there's so many things it doesn't have, right? It has no sense of urgency to win it. But it just they've just given up. I don't think it's hard to say they've given up because they never cared in the first place. You're just making it tough. They have no sense of sort of optics and, come on, this in a season that's been this bad and things have gone as badly as they have since the All-Star break or since the trade deadline. Then it's throw the fans a bone, give them a reason to hang around for the next 25 games or so, right? So again, bring up a young guy, do something. But you're going to roll out, bad people playing bad baseball. Again, I guess I should be focusing on the game. There's nothing to speak of the offense. Nobody got hit. I don't think we ever threatened. I don't think anything was ever close.
It was
I don't
brutal.
recall any. I don't recall any great plays by the defense.
Isaac Paredes tried his darn hardest to give us base runners. 3 errors from him tonight. So at least we didn't have a guy commit 3 errors.
3 errors and his team won by 12.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 errors and his team won by 12.
Yeah, 0 hits tonight. Obviously 0 runs. They cut some base runners off of some errors and 2 walks. Only 7 strikeouts. So that's something. Only 7 strikeouts tonight. No, the entire offense looked lifeless. They didn't look like they were ever going to touch Imanaga. And just something to consider. Brian De La Cruz, 93 WRC plus before joining the Pirates. Brian De La Cruz on the Pirates, 33 WRC plus. Brian De La Cruz, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, 117 WRC plus with Toronto. When he joined the Pirates, 61. So you're seeing both of our biggest deadline bats fall off the cliff as soon as they touch Pittsburgh hitting, as soon as they're introduced into the system.
Yeah, and so we've shown no ability to identify hitters, develop hitters, improve hitters with none. I mean, the guys on this team that hit well, do you give them credit for Brian Reynolds? I don't think so.
No.
I mean,
no.
When you hear about Nick Gonzalez and the improvements he made, yeah.
I mean, Nick Gonzalez is a 680 OPS.
Right. But I'm saying he's one of the better hitters on the team. and his improvement. It seems like he goes. Yeah. Right. I'm just saying it's like I don't think. I mean, it seems pretty easy to me that you've got to make some changes. Why not make them now? Why not send a message that the rest of the season still means something? Right, that we're not just playing out the string, that we're still trying to improve players. We're still trying to, put guys in the best position to succeed. That we're not just like, okay, it's over, but we're going to play again, justify signings. Maybe I don't understand. Why doesn't he try to justify his trades for Nick York and Billy Cook? And let me be clear, I'm not sure what they are, but I'd rather reward Matt Gorski at this time. Right?
Yeah.
He'd be the best defensive center fielder we have. Nothing.
Michael A. Taylor was
this guy's going to come up and turn things around.
Yeah. Michael A. Taylor was technically. I know he's been on waivers, but he was still starting. Well, so here's the thing, because you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Why aren't they still treating the season something to play for? You know what's frustrating about that? You remember last season when we were so out of it by July because we just collapsed over 3 months, and then after they sold everyone at the trade deadline, they went into we're treating every game like it's the playoffs. Do you remember that? I remember that. Every game was the playoffs.
I do.
They were over 500 the last.
I remember being upset that they didn't start that in April.
Right. Here's what I'm getting at is that they treated that after they were already out of it in July. And then this year, after the trade deadline, you are in the thick of it. You are in the hunt for the wild card without a shadow of a doubt. And instead, there's no urgency. There was more urgency when this team was 15 games under 500 than there was when they were 3 games above at the trade deadline. That is nuts to me. That is insane. I don't know what
which is again why he's got to go. He's not motivated by winning. I don't know what his ultimate goal is. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's to prove that he can build, an entire roster of minimum pay players and succeed. Well, he cannot because he's not very good at putting together bullpens, and he can't find hitters to save his life. It's just his approach, and I mean the Pirates have had a PR problem for most of my lifetime, really. They're just not very good at it. Have been. But it is as bad now as it has ever been. He is just, it seems like he almost has disdain for the fans and, wants to sort of stick it to us in the end. And it's just, I could take them ignoring us, right? It's fine. You should not be making decisions based on, our chat, right? But but you should also not be playing McKinnon I mean, Michael A. Taylor, Jared Trio. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. You should not be playing 75% of this roster.
No.
And you're exactly right. 3 games over, starting pitching looking good. The bullpen still had a little promise at that time and didn't make a significant move. Acquired a nice utility outfielder or, utility player. But that was it. Again, the big 3 in particular were telling you, you as well. You were on the Brian De La Cruz, not the bandwagon, whatever the opposite of the bandwagon was. You were calling him Edward Olivares.
I hate
right
how
from the
right
start.
I was about that. I'm so mad.
Yeah, and I remember you saying, hoping you were wrong, but yeah, no, sorry, sir. Another hope dashed by the Pirates.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, there were players out there. There were things and I understand everybody was looking for hitters. When you're the Pittsburgh Pirates, when you are where you are in the season, you need to overpay. And so, it's the Washington, the Nats signing Jason Worth to, that big contract, right? You've got to start setting the tone. You've got to send message to other agents and free agents and players that you're serious about winning. And this organization, this management team in the past 5 years has never done anything like that. Why would a free agent come here? I mean, you're not. First of all, they're not going to try to pay you, and if they do pay somebody $8 to $10 million, you're top of the heap, and nobody else is getting paid. And we're going to bring up just a parade of quad A players, former first round picks, Anthony Alford and the like. And it's the team's not proactive. Look what Kansas City did last year. Everybody marveled at they spent. Look what it's done. They're going to the playoffs.
I remember Pirates fans were mocking other Pirates fans for wishing that we did what the Royals did, saying, "Oh, they're still trash. They spent a whole lot of money to be trash." Well, they're going to be in the playoffs and we're not. No, it's so frustrating. So Isaiah Kiner-Falefa's OPS is down to 700. Alika Williams 517, Reynolds 805, McKinney 569, Gonzalez 682, O'Neal Cruz 780, Connor Joe 699, Brian De La Cruz 663, Jared Triolo 598, Michael A. Taylor 521, Henry Davis 454. That's who played tonight, who got no hit. Legitimately two above average hitters in the entire lineup, and then one of them got pulled. Reynolds gets pulled for McKinney. It's just not good enough. And I know the offense has been a lot better since the All-Star break. I know we've seen a lot of guys rebound from really poor starts, but you can't save this in one offseason. It's just not possible. The resources that the Pirates have right now.
Not the way we spend. Yeah.
This offense is just kind of cooked.
Right.
I agree.
Well, again, if he was a good general manager, we would have, we'd have some guy that's at AAA right now that we're all excited about that's going to come in and start in right field next year. But we don't have that. The only options we have to acquire hitters is through trade or through free agency.
No.
He's not very good at trading. He's not very eager to trade. He's willing to sort of swap around, this 4A player for that 4A player, that sort of thing. But he's not willing to say, all right, here's 2 of our top 10 prospects and get me, he's not going to trade for Luis Robert Jr. He's not going to trade for Jazz Chisholm. He's not going to trade for somebody that can, Rooker, somebody that can come in and hit and not be impacted by the bad coaching of Andy Haynes. He's not going to do that. And he's certainly, it's not like we're going to sign Pete Alonso in the offseason, right? So, I mean, right. We're going to sign another $3 million first baseman. We're going to run Nick Gonzalez out at second base. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is going to play shortstop, with not his best position, not best suited to start every day. Brian Hayes is going to be your third baseman. thank God for Joey Bart. Just hopefully he can stay healthy. De La Cruz is your right fielder next year. Brian Reynolds is most likely your left fielder, and Cruz, and so, yeah, I mean, that's it. So, and, hope Bubba Chandler can come up and shove, so we have, one more time where we're only giving up 1 or 2 runs. But yeah, it's, and I don't think he's going to get, I think Shelton is getting fired, and, definitely deservedly so. Hopefully, Andy Haynes goes with him, but I don't think Charrington's going to get fired. I think we're in for a depressing offseason again.
So this is what I was going to kind of tie into. I also think Shelton's gone. I think Shelton's toast. I think he's going to be the scapegoat. Whether you think it's deserved or not, I'm in the minority here. So if you think Shelton's gone, I think you're going to get your wish, which is fine. Replace him with someone else.
Yeah.
Cool, go for it. I don't care. Really, like I'm not going to.
But it'll more likely be a similar guy, right?
I'm going to. I don't have the energy to muster up a fight anymore because this team is bad. But I was going to ask you because 5 days ago, Alex Stumpf told us that it would take something biblical to get Ben Cherington fired. Like it has to be a biblical collapse down the stretch. Do you think that we're seeing this biblical collapse in time, or do you think this still isn't going to be good enough for the Pirates to make moves?
I mean, if this isn't tonight's game seems to be the 6th horseman of the apocalypse. I'm not sure. I mean, this was embarrassing. And it's not, again, it wasn't just that you got no hit. It's that that you started Domingo German and you gave up 12 runs, and that you just ran out minor leaguer after minor leaguer, or a guy that should be retired, or a guy that should be DFA'd. You read off the OPS of a bunch of guys at OPS under 6. not hovering around 7 thinking, hey, one good week and he's right back up to being an average hitter. No, these are terrible. These are not hitters, right? They're not even terrible hitters. They're just not major league hitters.
Those
I wish Jared Triolo could hit.
Guys. By the way, that's not all the guys who have sub 600 OPSs either.
No. That was just the guys in the starting lineup. That was not Grandal. That was not right. On and on and on. I mean, there were other guys. That Brian Hayes was not on that list, and Grandal was not on that list. And G1 Bay was not on that list. Alika Williams, right? I mean, it's a terrible team. Nobody can hit, and most of the guys. I mean, like I said, 75% of the guys do not belong on a major league roster. 75% of the players on this team, you could make an argument, might be a 26th man, right? You could make an argument for Jared Triolo to be the 26th guy. He's very good defensively at a bunch of different positions, and occasionally, we'll slap one over the second baseman's head. So you can make an argument for Alika Williams on a team that doesn't have a good defensive shortstop. You can play him once in a while, and he will make all the plays. But you can't make an argument to have both of them on the team, especially when the second baseman is Nick Gonzalez and his 692 OPS. Right? Yeah. I mean, it'd be different if you had Francisco Lindor. You had Jose Altuve. You're like, all right, we can play, one of these guys. But the whole freaking team. I have and it's not for lack of opportunity. Jared Triolo does not need more at bats. He's had enough at bats. Alika Williams had his at bats. They've, all of them have had a fair opportunity and have proven that they can't do it. But I would say that the bulk of this roster will be back next year.
All I was
and we'll do. Yeah. We'll argue and we'll fuss and we'll talk about it. And we'll say there's no way that Alika Williams is going to be on the major league roster next year, that they're going to go with, somebody else. And then, we're all sure, it's going to be Nick York. He's going to come up. He had a great spring. Oh, good. Look, first guy up, Alika Williams, Triolo. Yeah, Triolo's right there. He's back. So yeah, it's hard to. I mean, it's not that they're just ruining this season. They're just making. I'm giving up on next season already, and that should be a problem if you're Bob Letty, right?
And then I think we'll try to get out of here. It's beating a dead horse, but it's really incredible how Nick York is not on this team right now. It's really incredible how Billy Cook can't get a look in it. And I would even rather have Joshua Philosophy for some of these other guys. We have 4 doubles tonight. Well, and two. All I would say is that maybe the front office isn't thinking this is biblical, but man, the last 2 years have really felt like the book of Job. So I'm ready. I'm ready for some change. I'm ready. Ready to see some people
and
go up.
There's a really good point right there. The chat. Crosby 87. It's crazy that Swagger and Smith and Jigba did not get the opportunities that Williams and Bay have had. That's so true. Now, again, it's not like they've gone somewhere else and lit the world on fire. But man, Travis Swagger got 9 at bats.
Poor Travis Swagger, man. Poor guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, couldn't he have been Michael A. Taylor here? Then you could have saved $2 or $3 million, right? I mean, I mean, he was a good defensive player. There's a hope there that there's some upside. Smith and Jigba, I don't know, had good on base, had got some good at bats, never got a chance. I mean, he'd come up and Shelton refused to play him. He clearly was not a fan. But, I
can't bring myself to get mad about Swaggerty and Smith and Jigba, to be honest. I don't think it's just because they're not good. But no, the fact
but that's the whole team.
The fact remains that Williams and Bay have been given stupidly long leash. They didn't play tonight, so for that. We only had to deal with one domestic abuser tonight.
Yeah.
But I think I've run my course and with things to say. I don't know about you.
I blathered on, right? Like I said, it's just beating a dead horse, and and it's kind of been, we've had a lot of the same talking points all year. This team can't hit. This team can't hit, right? And that was just amazingly, stunningly shown tonight. No hit, losing 12-0. Rowdy Tellez pitched. I mean, how many ways could you make this game embarrassing? They keep finding ways. We keep thinking we've hit rock bottom, and oh wait, there's another level. So
at least
we'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, at least the tanking teams won games that they were no hit in. This team doesn't even do that. We'll be back tomorrow. Same as always. We'll have another post game for you guys. I think I have to do tomorrow's as well. I think I'm doing tomorrow's as well. So hopefully things go a little better. But thank you guys for joining. As always, please subscribe, follow us on all socials, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, on YouTube, and then please join the Discord if you want to.
You might be right. Most fans don't care, but the fans in this chat care.
If you're one of the fans still around watching these games, join the Discord and talk with the other sickos and crazies in the chat. They're fun people. But besides that, we're going to get out of here. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good night, y'all.
Hey, you all. Thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.